could say likewise with the with the challenge in the world, that this is it's brought him to a deeper understanding of things, it's their essential nature.
Challenge him.
In other words, a person has, that's how I just began the question. You mentioned that through a person that has a challenge in his life can come to a deeper understanding, and he can become elevated from this.
Bring back. Yeah. So, yeah.
So if you gave me now the example of the Timoin from the Av.
It's the same thing. Because he summons deeper qualities to overcome these difficulties. You ready?
Yeah, going. Yehuda, that's a question from Yehuda on the bicycle. He was riding home on his bicycle, and we were talking.
It's an amazing thing. A person has for shalom a heart problem. What did the doctor suggest that he do?
To exercise.
Well, all right. I want to start from the line that begins Abo Kasher Hetzi. You already entered this, but not sufficiently. That's 7 lines from the top.
You also wanted to give 2 masholim on that, and you said that one will be too difficult to understand, and you're going to give another one, and then we went somewhere else, and I think we left off without more.
This is still coming here.
Okay.
Okay, at the end of that line, V'derech klal, in general, what is the phenomenon that allows 2 essential elements to join that opposite in nature, and yet to join in? So we said that there is a principle of showing the various ingredients that is contained in everything. B'derech klal, in general, zehu bechinas hachalishus. This is the chalishus element, the weakness element, the softness element. Hanase bechol koyach behisgalus hakoyach hafochi b'shebei. The chalishus that is affected in every koyach when the koyach hafochi, when the opposite koyach that is contained within it surfaces. The kasher hu b'pshitusoi, because when the koyach is b'pshitusoi, in its own pshitus, meaning pshitus explained from various angles. Essentially, in our terminology, pshitus means something that you take for granted, for example. It's assumed without any examination. This is like a fundamental reality, a fundamental truth. Pshitus al koyach means that this is what the reality of this koyach. This is what, from the perspective of this koyach, this is what the reality is. Bipshitus. Then nothing doesn't need to be solicited or aroused. Of course, that's the only thing that's real. Doesn't pshitus. So when the koyach is bipshitusoi, harei hu betoykef me'oid. Then the koyach is in great toykef. Toykef means strength, but it's not really the word strength. Toykef means insistence, stubbornness, focus, unique focus. You cannot accept anything else. You cannot even, so to speak, project that anything else can be. That's maybe Toykef miyod. And I'll come back to this. This is why I'm obishakos haprotim. But then, when the protim come forth, and they break down and you show that there are many elements within this reality, then the koyach weakens. It is not insistent on this. Even to the point where efshel yischaber, that it is possible to be mischaber to an opposite koyach. What is the pshat that the koyach is betoykef? Where is this toykef come from? If in essence the koyach has the element of chalishus and it can be accepting others, what is the toykef element? So I'd like you to understand the following thing. We mentioned lately, this is a means to understand the concept. Mentioned lately but it's brought down Chassidus from actually it's an expression from Chakira, Kol dover reitze b'kiyumoi. Everything wants its continued existence. And we explained that Kol dover reitze b'kiyumoi is not identical to what the world says everything wants to exist, survive. I'm not going to go over there. I'm going to explain, focusing on kiyumoi. We explained last week, kiyumoi. Why does he want to be kiyumoi? Kiyumoi means he wants to be what it is. Kiyumoi, its existence. Specifically that. Something else he doesn't want to be. There's the incident of the Kusha Lepler. Kusha Lepler, was a Chassid in Altanem. And he was essentially a simple person, but he labored in Chassidus so deeply that he became a big masker in Chassidus. And that's the only thing he knew. He didn't know anything else. The Alter Rebbe said, I want to bless you with Arichas Yom, with long life. So Kusha said, but Rebbe, Nishkim Poirish Yorn, not the Yorn of a farmer, who doesn't know the truth, who doesn't, Einayim Lohem Le'yir, Einayim Le'yishmo, who have eyes and don't see, who have ears and don't hear. How can a person forego a blessing for Arichas Yom? And he didn't ask Arichas Yom, but I shouldn't have to be pushed on a wheelchair. He said, I know Arichas Yom means that all my faculties, particularly the faculty of Einayim Lohem Le'yim, that I could see the truth and I can, Lakus, he said, they don't say Lakus, they don't hear and they don't understand. So that I don't need it. I don't want it. Let's not say be kiyumoy. He wants kiyumoy. He wants to be that which the Rebbeinu made him. Why? Because in this is where he relates to the godly truth. This is where he realizes the essential reality, the godly reality. This is the toich of HaKoyach. The koyach is very much betoikif. Where is the essence of this toikif from? The essence of the toikif is that this is where it realizes the essence, the essential, the godly truth. Every koyach comes from the essence. Where is the koyach sense the essential truth in what it is? Except each koyach sees the essence through its own definitions. And because since that this is when it recognizes the essence, and that is the real truth, this is the only thing he wants, and that's why it's b'toikif gadol. He will not compromise at all. He doesn't want anything else. When the protim, the components of this koyach, are revealed, which reveal within the koyach itself that actually he relates to the essence not exclusively by its own definition, but by the total reality that he is, including all the different protim. So then he weakens. What's meant to weakens? He's not insisting on that. Then he's looking at the reality from a much broader perspective. And he can then relate to everything else. And this happens when the protim that are components that comprise him. He says that the reality is much broader than this particular element that he understands. This is true to the extent, the Gemara says, Eilu v'eilu divrei Elokim chai. Two opposite opinions in halacha. Eilu v'eilu divrei Elokim chai. Nothing is, you don't dismiss anything. You want to know Hashem's word. Eilu v'eilu divrei Elokim chai. Okay, now we go to the other Moshe. The Yov and Yosef b'midah is the Chesed Gvura.
I can answer the question. He's saying that he recognizes that these are separated from himself. So he's recognizing that he also has these things, or he's recognizing that the reality is bigger than he is. Or is that like the same thing here?
It's the same thing.
How's
Where
it
does he
the same
get
thing?
these things from? And that's the thing because of the root from which it comes from.
So in recognizing that he comes from somewhere, then he's sort of, or is I just making that?
Recognizing that to relate to that reality is through a real perspective, not through a narrow perspective.
The real perspective meaning.
Including everything. We have to eat. And to have food to eat, we have to plow the field and tend everything and hold whole preparations. And then after we have it all, we have to grind the wheat and we have to make flour and we have to you have to mix dough and bake it and all that. And then the food comes out. So, the Torah says, "B'zeh yasapecha techalecha," that Adam Manishin was punished as a result of the Chet das, that you will eat bread only after B'zeh yasapecha, after the sweat, and you have to invest the sweat of your brow to eat. So Adam is totally disturbed. I get my food from the neighbors. Where does the Esapecha come in? How can I dedicate myself to the Esapecha, to this whole process? Am I eating the Rebbe's bread or not? Is the Rebbe provided for me or not?
You mean he's disturbed by the fact that he kind of gets credit for doing all this heavy work, and then in the end of the day he feels I did it instead of Eberstein?
No.
Not that.
No. He loses connection to the Meibashter.
Plain.
Yeah. The Meibashter said to him when he first was created, I created this whole world for you. Look, there's all kinds of fruits, everything is already for you. So you're eating from me, from my hand. I was just saying, you have to till the earth, the land, and from that you will eat. He loses contact to the reality. And Adam could not tolerate it. Like the Kusha Lepper said, am I eating from the earth or am I eating from the neighbors? Like we always explain the idea of a bracha. A bracha is that I'm eating from the neighbors and not from the earth. What is the answer? And ultimately, that Adam is able to relate to it. So in the Gemara says that when I eat goes to plow the field, I'm sure you all heard that expression. The Rebbe feeds him. But now he will sense the fact that the Rebbe feeds him by him being involved in Zeireya. Because that he had fallen down a madrega. So if the food is going to be spoon-fed to him, he will not really then realize the godly element in this. He has to come through his world. And in his world he should see that the Rebbe is giving it to him. So therefore, he is a field. Am I going to get food from the earth? No way. The Rebbe is going to give it to me. And the Rebbe is giving it to me through the Keach Eliki that he invested in the earth. And he's going to bless my activity. So therefore, he is able to relate to till the earth, and on the contrary, and his connection to Meibashin is now Strength is all now comes through this sweat of his brow. It's not a distraction. This is his path, his way of getting it. Okay. V'yovan yesed b'midos b'chesed and gvura. This will be even better understood. This union of deriving the opposite from each other. In midas of chesed and gvura. The kasher heim b'pshituson, that when these midas are b'pshituson, in their sense of pshitus, then the chesed cannot tolerate the gvura in isoivel as chesed, and the gvura cannot tolerate the chesed. Both chesed and gvura, this is what we were emphasizing on the Kvank issue of Poshut. Both chesed and gvura are not the result of some circumstance. Somebody comes to you and asks for tzedakah, and you look at him and you say, "Oh, what a pity! What a distraught person." And like we said the other day, that a person projects himself suffering from that thing, and in order to assuage his own the disturbance, he goes and helps others person. This is an artificial chesed. Like the famous word from Baal Shem Tov. It's not just a yid that you see and you see that he is such a fine person, you love him. You don't even know that he exists. He exists on the other side of the globe. Nothing eliciting that love. In other words, this love comes from the essential reality, essential truth. Chesed and Gevura are qualities that are inherent in the truth of the nefesh. And inherent in the truth of Eliki, in Oyr Eliki, Chesed and Gevura. Let's try and understand Chesed and Gevura a little bit on the so to speak, on the subsurface level. Emerson, it's obvious. It's simply right in Tanya. The Alter Rebbe explains that the Gevura, the Tzimtzumim, are also Chesed. Because what is Tzimtzumim about? The Tzimtzum is in order to facilitate that the world should be able to accept the Chesed Eliki. If the Chesed Eliki comes unobstructed, then the world would not be able to relate to it. So therefore, this Gevura is Echet Chesed. That's what Alter Rebbe says right there in Sayach Zaymun. Let us understand a little bit more substantially what is to the Nakuda. Chesed and Gevura. Chesed is representative of the limitlessness of the nefesh, or of Elokus. Chesed means total openness and bestowing of goodness. Why? Because I have it a bli gvul. Bli gvul is present everywhere. Wherever there is a room for it, like water. Water is chesed. What is the nature of water? Yerid megoveil inomuch. And it spreads out without any, if there's no obstruction, it spreads out automatically. And that's the nature of water. Now, this nature of water to spread out automatically.
It's chesed or
This is
gevurah?
chesed. Chesed and water is emotional. Water is emotional.
Water. It's a gevurah. Okay.
Not water.
Okay.
This Indian, that water spreads automatically because of its abundance and that's its nature, that it fills everything, every opening. Represents the presence of water, not the presence of its purpose. It could be purpose. It could be counterproductive. The water can spread and drown out needed areas. Like the big blessing of Sandy, and it turned out to be a destructive blessing. In other words, this abundance from the Etzem is abundant, and therefore it has no limit as to where it is and what it can give, what it wants to give. But there's another element in Etzem. It has a kavana. Etzem is not just a presence. There's a truth, a reality to it. This reality demands that it should be b'gvura. That whatever is given with a purpose and acknowledge that this is coming from the Etzem. Because if you have chesed without recognizing the source, it's not real chesed. Like we said in the mashal of the host and the guest, we give him the best lunch, but there is no host, then he has nothing. This is the gvura element. But mitzad the teva of chesed, b'pshitus, you say, hey, look at this, the etzem is abundant, it's ligvul, and that it has to be everywhere. B'pshitus cannot tolerate any restrictions. If gvura is b'pshitus,
what is the gevurah element by recognizing the source? Where does it come in there, gevurah, by recognizing the source?
No. The gevura is an expression, it's a restrictive element. What is the basis? What is the purpose of this restriction? The purpose of this restriction is that the etzem is everywhere, and if the chesed goes and it's not recognized that this is coming from the etzem, then you are canceling God the whole reality. This is what the gevura is.
So is that to say the gevura is following on the chesed to, let's say, guide it or temper it?
As I was saying, there are two essential truths in the essence.
The two essential. So gevura has its own
Essential, right.
Not
Two
just
essential truths.
to
To bring out the whole etzem, you have to have both chesed and gvura. I gave the mashal a long time ago. I said somebody has an abundance of resources, whatever, things, money, unlimited, and he wants to bestow his goodness to everybody. There are two ways to do this. One is that he takes down the walls of his storage, of his storage houses, and everybody comes and takes whatever they want. They're getting what they want, but there is not their connection to the resource, to the reality. The reality is that there is a source. The principle of source is that it is replenishable. There's more where this is coming from, like we discussed many times. The other way is he keeps the wall in place, opens up a window. Anybody approaches the window and he says, I have 10 kids in the house, okay, this is what you need. No limit. But it's appropriately given up and apportioned properly to what you need. There's a connection to the source. Like we said just before the motion of the Zeas HaPechotecha Lechem. Zeas HaPechotecha Lechem is a similar thing. Odom is no longer a keli to get it directly milmaila, but he has to get it milmaila. He has to sense that it comes from milmaila. How does he sense it comes from milmaila? It is b'zeis hapech. So this is the chesed and the gvura. Each one represents the yetzer in its own way. Chesed represents the gdula, the limitlessness, and gvura represents the intent and the truth. Individually, they cannot tolerate one another.
don't recognize the truth of our Seichel that from the source. I mean,
Right.
everywhere it comes from its own
Let me interrupt you for a second. Let me interrupt you. We have to pick it up in Mitchum tomorrow. I have to stop right now because I'm past my time. So we'll pick it up tomorrow in Mitchum. Okay? This is it for this morning.
Gevura,